right, welcome to episode 12. That's right, I've run out of fingers, can't show you 12. But it's a pleasure to be in episode 12 of The Mechanics of Poetry, where we try to get into the nuts and bolts of poetry. And today's topic, the question, how do you make a cento? And of course, I worded it that way because I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to put their 2 centos in, or however many they got. Right. And just to start off, in case there's a greenhorn out there that has never heard of a cento, we have ready for screen sharing the definition from good old Mr. Google. Right, and maybe I can make it a little larger so people can see it. Right, it's very simple. A cento is a poetical work wholly composed of verses or passages taken from other authors. So no original words required. Apparently, it's really hip to do it from Homer and Virgil, right? And rearrange. Okay, enough of that.
So you don't add any like prepositions or anything. It just can only be the words from their poem, or you can add.
You know, that's a very good question, and I wish Corin was here to answer that because he knows more about it than I do. But I just remember when I did a cento for James Tate, who was my favorite poet in my college days. I took the lines and just juxtaposed them like they had not been juxtaposed before. And I might as well illustrate it now. Might as well, right? Why waste time? Let's see. This will get it across. So there's more than one way to make a cento. And it's like, I guess with anything in poetry, once you know one way, you have the license to do it another way. And so let me get up that screen share. Okay, how do you do that? Doom. Yeah. This one says cento 2. Oh, it's got to be this one. Okay. Because I liked it so much, I did 2 centos. This is the first one, and it's called Viper Jazz Cento because I used lines only from his book Viper Jazz, which is my favorite book of James Tate's poetry. And what I did here, I'm going to make it a little bigger in a minute. But my technique was to use only first lines of poems. So this cento is only first lines from his poems in the order that they appear in the book. Talk about making it easy or tough. And I found that when I did that, it was better to put it into smaller doses, kind of like when Ezra Pound did to T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. He sectioned it off. So that's what I did here. I put it into 7 sections, did I? I scroll. Yeah, 7 sections. Each section is like, looks like 10 lines in couplets. So I'm just going to expand so I can read the first one. And you'll get the idea. There's a road out there that ripples because you are the bridge for me. First comes the wood anemone. Tomorrow, the future will be here. My crumbs are the only ones, tequila and chicken. Language was almost impossible in those days. The transference bird of little mind has risen high. For November, it is November. He needed to believe. Okay, so that is the first 10 lines, or the first 10 first lines of the first 10 poems in Viper Jazz Cento. And I just put them together, put it in the couplets, try to make it feel like it flowed. And because of the nature of James Tate's poetry, it does flow because he's just got some remarkable first lines. And when I put them together, they felt like they flowed. I'll do one more. This is number 2. Isolation now, old tree. See the moonlight on that birch? The bug's sleep is full of lead. You are known by the hermits to be staying here. He's taking down the ladder. I know I give you no choice. We were just a couple of drifters. Dreamy cars graze on the dewy boulevard. Oh, faint, sad noises. What's wrong? All right, so it feels like it flows because this guy, he's got a conversational style. So it was an easy thing to do. And I was so jazzed about making a cento from Viper Jazz's first lines that I thought, I'll try this with the last lines and see if it's just as good. And it was almost just as good. Let's see if I can bring that up real quick just to give one example. I gotta destroy the first one, get it out of there. Which one? Is it? Oh yeah, the one that was done first. So that one out. That one in. Yeah. Screen share. Boom. Boom. There it is. Okay, so this one is imaginatively titled Viper Jazz Cento 2. And I just want to read you one just so you can see the effect of last lines. Now this one, I remember I needed to put at the very beginning what I put at the very end in the first one, and that is the title of the book, because it was an odd number of lines. And again, it's 7 sections, right? Because it's the same number of lines, but these are the last lines. And just to give you a taste of it, I'll read you one. Okay, so it has to start with Viper Jazz. Viper Jazz, which chips away at me night after for eyes. The speakable sadness of a dried up port that sleep past noon in a field of marble. To the fishermen who use their hearts as bait, and in the distance, my pinprick. Where can I find a small shop selling chocolates? So that was almost as smooth as the first cento. He still has that conversational style, but these are last lines. So I like to think, I hope to think, that if anybody ever read this, they would want to investigate the poetry of James Tate. And that would be my purpose here, because I thoroughly enjoyed that poet. He's the poet that made me fall in love with poetry. All right.
Don, so these were all last lines?
Those were all last lines in the second one, yeah.
So like you didn't add any words. It was just
Didn't add any words. No.
Okay. That's
No,
very
he had
interesting.
conversational style, so that helps.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. He just, wow, what a poet. I mean, that's what made me fall in love. Yeah. God rest his soul. He passed away a few years back. A New England poet. Okay. I think I said everything I had to say. I went with the idea of using only the words of the poet, but I'm sure that once you do that, you can also do it the other way. And to answer that question, our T.S. Eliot expert, Chris Askew.
Yeah, question I have thinking about this is, you use the lines verbatim. I mean, you did what you did, but is that a necessary requirement? Do you use the whole line, or can you use just part of it? Can you add to it? Can you put in articles and conjunctions and things like that if you need to?
Yeah, that answers Preet's question. Very good.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Or is that a question, Chris?
Chris says you can, right, Chris?
Okay.
And is there a common length? Well, Wasteland is pretty long, but
if you see a connection, right, from one piece to another piece, yeah. That's good to hear too.
But the ones that you just showed us were all from one poet. Is that the most common, or is it more common to use a variety of sources?
I think, based on the definition, it's probably much more common to have a variety of poets. right? I remember reading some where it was 2 lines by one poet, maybe 3 lines by another, like that. But I faintly remember that. I remember it had maybe a couple lines by Maya Angelou in it and a couple lines by another poet. Yeah.
Does
And
it
I
have
remember
to
it not
be a
being too long
poem?
either. It was kind of like the length of a sonnet, not too long.
Does it have to be a poem for the cento? Can it be like a line of dialogue from Shakespeare?
Yeah, one
Oh,
could argue that all of Shakespeare
Chris.
is poetry.
Huh?
That one could argue that all of Shakespeare is
It's
poetry.
poetry. That's
Right,
right.
right. Because
He wrote plays
I
and blank
have
verse.
some,
Yeah.
I like some of Shakespeare's plays, Hamlet, Antony, Cleopatra, some really great lines.
Yeah. And you know, if you got that in school, it's probably because T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, right, used lines of Shakespeare, phrases of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Could we just as easily use lines from Hemingway, for example?
That could be interesting. Hemingway, very distinctive style.
Lots of dialogue and action. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
make it feel poetic with the arrangement. Yeah. Did you want to say anything else, Chris?
Besides Eliot, who has done centos in the mainstream of poetry in the recent past?
You know, they mentioned it in that Google thing I looked up, some other poets who did this. Did I get rid of that page? Let's see.
Uh, since Billy Collins is getting a master course on it, could we say that he did?
Let's see. I'm looking at the page right now. Okay, I'll bring up the poets.org page. That means I got a screen share. Come on. Trying to make the left fingers cooperate with the right fingers. There we go. Okay, so there's the poets.org page. So for the cento, is that something I just click on? Or maybe it's covered down here. So it's listing 2 contemporary poets. John Ashbery had The Dong with the Luminous Nose.
And Peter Gibbies.
Yeah. Ode Salute to the New York School. Weaving together a wide variety of voices, Jared Manley Hopkins, T.S. Eliot, and Lord Byron, woven together. Wow.
Yeah, put Hemingway in that mix.
Let's see what we get here real quick. Yes, this is a free program, so we're not making any money here, so don't worry, poets.org. Yeah, Sonia Sanchez. Well, she was in our last show too. She's got one.
Like if you click on Sonia Sanchez's poem, she also has like spacing, like
Sonia.
yeah, that's cool.
You want to read it, Preet?
Sure. This is not a small voice you hear. This is large voice coming out of the cities. This is the voice of Latanya, Kadisha, Shaniqua. This is the voice of Antoine. How do you say this? And
that's Antoine, yeah.
Antoine, Daryl, Shaquille, running over waters, navigating the hallways of our schools, spilling out on the corners of our cities, and no epitaph spills out of the river's mouth. This is not a small love you hear. This is a large love, a passion for kissing, learning on its face. This is love that crowns the feet and with the hands, that nourishes, conceives, feels the water sails, mends the children, pulls them inside our history where they toast more than of the flesh, where they suck the bone of the alphabet and spit out closed vowels. This is a love colored with iron and lace. This is a love initialed Black Genius. This is not a small voice you hear. Beautiful poem.
No notes though. So how much is her and how much is other poets?
Yeah.
So you think that she put
That key line, this is not a small voice you hear, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's probably several phrases in here that might come from another poem, running over waters. And then she adds new settings.
Or maybe the epitaphs spill out of the river mouths.
That feels like an archaic line, right?
Yeah, that does look like you know, when you do centos, you don't have to like footnote anything, right?
I guess there's no law. You won't go to prison for not putting one, but it's nice.
Yeah.
But if something's famous, if something's famous, you're saying to yourself, oh, I should know this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is not a small voice you hear. If you just Googled that line, it would come from, let's see if it comes up. I'll use my phone. Okay. This is not a small voice you hear. Here goes. Small voice.
I think that should be a requirement for cento writers. The index.
Well, it's got the poem by Sonia Sanchez. So no clue there. Well, it's a wonderful poem, and anything that results in a wonderful poem, I'm down with it. That's for sure. Anything else, Chris, before I move on to Mark?
Yeah, go ahead. I have more questions.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say is, before we move on though, in thinking about writing my own, you took one way, which was to take a guy's book of poems and use his lines. I wondered where to start. And it occurred to me that one thing I could start is just make a list of all the poems that I have memorized. So that their lines are at my disposal, essentially.
Memorable.
And see if I can draw lines from those that work. Presumably, in the old days when they were doing it from Homer and Virgil, they had memorized most of Homer and Virgil, so those lines were available to them. I haven't memorized Homer and Virgil, so those lines aren't available to me. A lot of Shakespeare is, and a lot of other odd people, but
the legends.
Where I would start would be just go with what you know and see where you can go from there.
And, another aspect of this is it's a great way of using quality material from the get-go, right? You got some great lines, and it's going to probably result in something really good, right? When you're using them, mixing them up like that.
I think you would also want not just the great lines, that you would want to put those in the lines that you do have in opposition with each other so that they are saying something differently.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Right, not just a rehash. Well, Mark, I think you got something to say about this, right, Mark? What did you want to say about the cento, sir?
Well, I guess when I did those before, I was doing it as a, I guess, form of found poetry. And I was certainly one who mixed poets. I don't know which one you have there.
Well, I got it right here. Let's see. Let's go to page 10 or poem 10. Let's see.
When would this edition come out? The centos.
Oh yeah. Hey, I did I'm sorry, Preet. I'll get right to that. I did a cento using lines from Mike Songson's book, right? His LA book.
Sunken. Okay.
Yeah. And then let's see, page 10 is coming up here. Uh-oh, somebody did me. And here we are. Okay. Oh, why is Mark's hazy? There we go. It was hazy. There we go. Okay, Mark. There you
So
go.
there's 3 of them there. And I did put footnotes in mine. They don't seem to be here. Oh, there they are.
It took another page to do all the footnotes.
Yes, because basically each line came from a different poem.
There you go. That sounds traditional for a cento.
The first one, I know that I ended up with all men except one woman, and it annoyed me. So I did another one with all women and one man.
Right.
And the last one I used Spectrum editions.
Oh, that's so cool.
Spectrum Poets. Hey, we got to hear these. Are you willing to read them, Mark?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Cento number 1. I could put a notion in his head, doubting, dreaming dreams, to ask if there is some mistake. In what distant deeps or skies, clear shooting over our heads, as holy and enchanted, even though they had looked through big electric telescopes, the starry dynamo and the machinery of night. Now that I have organized it all, the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns. Who would have dreamed this infinitely little?
I recognize the frost right away.
And there was Whitman and Poe and
wow, what an all-star list! Yes. Oh,
and then
another one. Number 2.
This one is going to be mostly women poets. Cento 2. The moon has nothing to be sad about. With the certainty of tides, there will come soft rain and the smell of the ground. It will take more than a lightning stroke to create such a ruin, all overgrown by cunning moss, till itself crumble to the dust beneath. Stone walls do not a prison make. Dilapidations, processes, are organized decays. And before I was born, surely I could fly.
I believe you wrote this, Mark. But it wasn't just you.
It wasn't just me.
Wow, what a combo. Wow, that is a top 10. Wait, and it snuck a dude in there. What the heck?
So Mark, I was going to ask you, did you just have all these poets in your head, or did you?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I think what I, remembering back, because this was a while back, I found a line that I liked, and then I started scanning through other poets till something clicked, and just sort of, I guess, cascaded through that until I felt it finished.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do the Spectrum Poets.
Yeah.
Okay, cento number 3. She arrives like the first snow falling, gorgeous and breathtaking in the bright harvest night, more beautiful than a stream at sunset, a smile of berries and kisses. I sense something wonderful, a supernatural transformation. Her sidelong smile grows broad. Oh, how I would gladly jump into it.
Wow.
Aw.
There are the poets. This is great.
Yeah.
From different issues. Wow.
Yeah. I pulled, for that one, I know I pulled all the issues off my shelf that I had and was flipping through and finding things that just, they all came together.
That is really cool. Really cool.
That is so delightful. Makes you
Mhm.
want to try it, right, Preet?
Yeah, I do want to try it.
Yeah.
Like after I saw all these and yeah, it's really cool.
Well, let me ask this. I did the Songson one, taking my favorite lines. Is that right or wrong? Is that legal or illegal? I don't know. Am I promoting his book? Or what? Where's that? Yeah, I remember taking them from different parts of the book.
Songs.
So this is the Songson Cento Soneto. I am still alive in Los Angeles. Refuge for a city of angels. Zoom, 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 Zayanda Zuma. A city of love, a city of violence, reborn upon arrival. Southern California was a time bomb. Witness the return of the watershed. Behold, zapping us back to a place called home. Without you, this city is pale, rude, fiction. Your own poem, let it be known. You are kings of expression. Music is the heartbeat. Los Angeles is the land of 1,000 dances.
Ooh.
Does
Okay,
that
I
capture
have
the
one.
Songson spirit?
I just have one question. You know that line where you said, "Without you, this city is pale, rude, fiction." Is that
Yeah.
all different words?
That line or those sentences are about Wanda Coleman. I remember that very distinctly. Yeah. Mike and I are big fans of Wanda Coleman. And wow, it makes me curious about all the others. Well, we can't go through everything, but I saw that picture of that strange fellow. Who did this? Coco. Well, she's not here, but if she comes here, she might read it.
I'm here.
Oh, she's here.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Dang it. Hey, Coco. You know, can I ask you this now that you're here? What possessed you to do this? Oh my, at least it's short. Thank
You're
God.
like my poetry idol.
Yeah.
You're the poet that I look up to the most out of any poet that I've met, any poet that I've read.
La 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 la. Are you willing to read it out loud and then we'll go on with our lives?
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Kingfisher Campbell, The Planet of the Oreo Cento. In memory of help me understand Buddha-like mountains. Show information past the many arms. Uh-oh. Here comes another being to embrace the poet, like twins in a womb, looking like it was straight out of the movie. The only pale sign, an ocean wave mistaken for a snow-capped mountain, sloping down toward too many little chocolate trees.
Ah, that's cute.
Now I know how it feels to be centoed. Okay, I got mixed feelings. It's definitely.
I have like the most. I hope that I have the biggest collection. I'm trying to collect all of Kingfisher's work.
No, hey, you go too far. You go too far.
I have quite a good amount of it, and I love going through all of it. I can see like the different styles.
We'll talk later. I got to steer this episode away from me, please.
Okay.
I mean, just thank you.
Coco, did you
I'm
do
honored
a
to be honored,
cento?
just like Mike Songson and Walt Whitman and all the other poets, you know. But I want to give people a chance to say something in the order of arrival, and that means it's, well, let me just check in with Mark if you wanted to say anything else before I move on.
I
You're
think
good.
that's
You're
it.
good. Yeah. Hey, you should be sitting pretty good there. Those are great little centos. My God, it just makes you want to try one. Thank you, Mark. Okay, Preet, did you want to ask anything or say anything about centos?
I was wondering if Coco did a cento in that book. Did you do a cento?
Yeah, that was one.
That was Coco.
That was the one that you did about the, okay. Yeah, it was really good. That was really good.
I mean, see how confusing that is? The lines are
I
by
got confused because it was his picture. So that's why I got confused. I want to try a cento because, well, I think for me, I will probably have to add like conjunctions or I don't know, maybe it depends. But I'm
Whenever
obsessed.
it gets home, yeah.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the starting lines of novels, like Tale of Two Cities,
It was the best of times.
In the Best of Times, the Worst of Times.
The pandemic.
One of the lines of Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children that I read, Handcuffed to History. Like there's a lot of poetry in books that
True.
cannot be ignored. So like there's lots of good lines, and I feel like I can create something.
Homework
But
assignment.
I will footnote.
You will do this, Preet.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll come to some good. It will. Somehow. Well, I mean, just to be fair, I got to go to James because James was next. Go ahead, sir. You have anything to say about the cento?
Yeah, so I heard about the cento. I had seen um people share before, but I had never written one.
But now you
And
want to, right?
uh,
Yeah.
I had never written one
Okay.
until you proposed the
Oh, so you did
subject.
one.
So
Yeah.
I did do one, and then I realized that I kind of have one that I did that I didn't know I did, um, which was titles of Aaliyah songs, and it makes up a poem based on the title of songs she wrote. And so
Would you like to
so
share it?
Hmm?
Would you like to share it?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Share 'em.
When you're ready.
The singer? Who is the singer, James?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah?
Hmm.
Ooh, the
Oh,
one that died in the plane crash. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I went on YouTube and like try to look up cento information. I didn't find a lot to start with, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna nail this down. The one video I did see showed a method about kind of highlighting your favorite like lines in books, and then taking those lines and kind of organizing them into a poem. And so that's how I started getting into the cento I wrote for today. And I decided to make it all LGBT poets because it's Pride Month. And so I pulled lines from their books and crafted this cento. So I'll pull it up for you to see.
Yeah.
ooh.
Okay, you can see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I titled it Leaving Eden. Looking through the letters, I can see into the earth below, the blue blur of bones. How the skin will defend and just as soon be the first thing to give you away. If you are given my body, put it down. He was what it looked like when love clocks in, even after it clocks out. So much of who we are is birth of ritual. They devour you whole, forget you need water, they suffocate you. Watch your bloom die, always before its time. Oh, minute hand, teach me how to hold a man the way thirst holds water. Teach me that love is freedom. Love is watering seeds on the windowsill and cheering for every sprout. Each one a stem I plucked from a garden that never grew here. Broken through the precipice, the soggy ghost of me, the deep dark matter that lies beneath this skin, digging into the softest parts of my body. Memories make demands darker than my own. You have believed her for so long. Your pulse forgot your name, called survival and death by the same tongue. I had never been so bound by my past that I was rooted under this evening's moon. We are two separate pieces fused to one, then separated, shattered momentarily to be rebuilt. You will see it is the sky pulling itself from the seams, and the light will swiftly play across the arid landscape. In the dream where I am an island, I grow green with hope. I'd like to end there.
And then here are the poets. Yeah.
Yeah, and so these are the
Ooh.
poets in their books, Birthday Girl, Expansion, and so The Wind Was Born, A Study of Hands, Night Sky, Exit Wounds, The Tradition, This Body, and Original Kink.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
So it's like these like I guess I don't listen to music that much, but these singers are poets themselves, so to speak.
Well, no, this one is actual poets.
Oh, it's actual poets,
Yeah.
Oh,
not the
yeah.
singers. Okay.
Even
Yeah.
better.
So I had to go through and find the lines for that, and then I'll share the next one. This one is all song titles from Aaliyah.
Okay.
One in a million. Are you that somebody that can sing life into me when you rock the boat? I miss you. Come over. I don't want to forget the one I gave my heart to. We need a resolution. Please tell me you're willing to try again. I was wrong and you were right. And I don't need a 4-page letter to argue back and forth when I know you are love personified. One in a million. Don't know what to tell you. I'm old school and a choosy lover. We getting older, but I got to say age ain't nothing but a number. Are you feeling me still? Does my voice keep you ready? Body hot like fire? If not, I'll journey to the past, a young nation, to when we were best friends, and pray I come back in one piece. Man, if your girl only knew how much I cared for you. You are more than a woman. This isn't a street thing or a loose rap. I'm being real. A girl like you isn't fishing for a compliment, but I gotta give it up anyway. Never no more. You don't need to worry. I can be the man you deserve because no one knows how to love you quite like I do.
Woo-hoo.
Wow, beautiful centos.
I recognize some of those songs. Classics.
Yeah, so that was kind of like I guess my take on how to craft it. I did see some people saying that you don't want to do less than half a line, but you shouldn't do more than a full line of the whichever authors you're pulling from.
Because you want it to be recognizable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you want it to be. Yes. Good point.
Yeah, James, in the first one, you have rather long quotations, several lines. Are the line breaks yours or are those the original?
I tried to keep the line breaks original. When I wrote them down on the index cards, some of them were too long. And so I didn't go back through and see if I had all the line breaks exactly right in each of the books.
Mm.
So some are the original line breaks, and then some probably aren't.
Okay.
I will probably go back in and fix that so that it is the proper line breaks.
Wow, spectacular job, James, as always.
Very
I mean, I could feel not just their words, but your spirit in these poems. The idea that you performing these poems just takes it in another direction. That's
Mhm.
really awesome.
I really appreciated the pride poem. That was.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that the Pride Fest actually starts today. It's during this weekend, starting today.
I was just gonna come to Coco here. What do you got to say about the cento, Coco?
I met the cento when I met Joshua Cohen,
Right.
and he is just like the master of plucking words from anything and creating a cento in seconds. And I was just so intrigued by it that yeah, I had to try it for myself. And then John decided to make that whole book of nothing but centos, and now Josh has cento verse, and it's amazing. It's amazing art form. I really enjoy it.
So do you have any of your experiments with cento?
Oh,
And we already read one, but
yeah, I also did that Donald Trump one.
oh God, we got to read that one, I guess, just so we can rehash the past.
Okay, yeah, let me pull it
Got
up.
it?
Yeah,
This
I
could
have
be
it here.
dangerous, people. Trigger warning, everyone. Trigger warning.
I
Okay.
know, right? Trigger warning. All Donald Trump. Let me see here.
You a brave poet, you.
No, right?
You foolish poet, you.
Let me see. I don't remember what I named it. What did I name that?
While we're
one?
waiting for this poem, Preet wants everyone to know that her background is UC Irvine.
No, it's Sanssouci Palace in Berlin.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but the colors
It's
match. The colors match, the yellow building, yellow
Oh,
letters.
just a
here it is, I found it. Okay. Let's share screen.
All right. This sounds so dangerous.
Can y'all see it? We need it bigger.
I can read it. Can
I
everybody
can
read
read
it?
it. I
Okay.
can read it.
Trump says, I have a great relationship with blacks. I will build a great wall. The beauty of me is that I'm very rich. It's freezing and snowing in New York. We need global warming. We don't have victories anymore. I don't even wait. I just start kissing them. Grab them by the pussy. As long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass. I said, if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. I hire people. It costs me $3. That's to be expected. My Twitter has become so powerful that I can actually make my enemies tell the truth. They're standing there with no clothes. They had a person who was extremely proud that a number of women had become doctors. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I'm their worst nightmare. He made a good decision. People that have lots of problems, and it has been well documented. I take advantage of the laws of the nation. I did try and fuck her. I moved on her like a bitch. I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. Our great African American president hasn't had a positive impact on the thugs. I think the only difference, I don't have to brag. Even if the world was going to hell in a handbasket, I won't lose a penny. It's called checkout time. Yeah, she's beautiful. I don't want to be like the Miss Universe pageant. Are we babies? I know nothing. That makes me smart.
Whoa.
Ah,
That is hopefully the last.
Those were all Donald Trump quotes that I found.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well,
Now that's one for using non-poetic sources.
Yeah. I love my last line. I know nothing. That was smart.
well, coming up with a Joe Biden cento, that we need more time. He doesn't say a lot of memorable stuff yet. Yeah.
That would be it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, everyone's had a chance to say something. And so before we conclude, if anybody wants to say anything else before we conclude, feel free to do so. Anyone about the cento?
Thank you for having this space. Thank you for having this space.
You know what I want to say? I'll tell you this, I look back at my notes from the very first session and somebody mentioned cento. And I thought, wow, why haven't we touched that yet? So that's why it came up today. And then I have to thank all of you, loyal people who really love poetry. You make this 6 times better than it would have been if it was just me. That's for certain. So thank you so much, Chris and Mark and Preet and James and yeah, that Coco kid. Yeah. This turned out to be a really great episode. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right, and it'll be brisk viewing
Definitely.
too. It'll be up in a couple hours. Did you want to say one more thing?
This was really good. I did a cento a long time ago, but it was really nice going through all of them and all the variety. Yeah, this was really, really nice.
Yeah. Well, we've definitely learned there are many ways to go about this. That's for certain, as well as sources. Yeah. Hey, the bottom line is if you can make a good poem out of whatever it is, mission accomplished. Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop the recording so we can be free.